Hey everyone, my name is Jordan Evans. Today I'm going to talk about just being creative, how to unlock that inner creator that's inside you, why we might not feel creative, and I also have five exercises that we can start doing today that I've learned from myself that help me feel creative. So a lot of people think, oh no, I'm not creative. I don't play an instrument. I don't dance. I can't paint. But honestly, that's not what the essence of being creative is. I think that's something that as society we've constructed that box of who people. Some people are creative, some people aren't. And if you think back to like kindergarten or first grade, second grade, or even before then, every kid is extremely creative. If the teacher in kindergarten is like, hey, everybody paint this, you will see the most amazing, everybody has different perspectives, everyone is very outgoing. Or even if at that age, if you're asked to sing a song, people don't care, like kids will sing songs without worrying about anything. And I think what happens over our life is like, one person might make fun of you, and then that creativity goes down a little bit because you're afraid of being made fun of again. Or your parents say you're not good enough, boom, goes down again. Or you fail, say you're taking an art class and you get a D because your art's not good enough, that creativity is going down and down. But one thing that I've learned about creativity is it's relative. People have different skills, people have different strengths, but you should still explore feeling creative. And the main reason that I think everyone is creative and why I feel this urge inside of me to create is I'm a Christ follower, and if you're not, that's okay. This still applies to everybody, I think. God created the world, He created the universe, plants, planets, stars, water, dirt, animals, our bodies, everything. And through that act of creation, we were made in His image, and therefore have that same creative desire and drive. Music, we were given that. Art, we were given that. The ability to sing, that's something we were given. Autonomous thought, all these things are what equip us to be creative beings. Back in, and I'm going to share a story that I probably haven't ever told anybody about times where I did not feel creative, was my junior year of high school. I went to a school that was a fine arts school, and I went as a drummer actually. And drumming back then was really all that I did. I actually had never touched a piano. I didn't know what any of the keys meant or anything about piano, but I was a very, very talented drummer. So I was at like the top of the percussion ladder as far as all that stuff goes, and everyone knew I was a great drummer. And I took pride in that, but outside of that, I was very shy to express myself. And we had a drama department at school, and they were doing a production of Oliver Twist, and I was confronted and asked to audition for it because I could sing a little bit and I could dance. And if you guys have ever done theater, you know, as a male, if you can sing and dance, they go straight for you and you're a lead. But I'll tell you what, I was afraid of being vulnerable. I was afraid of singing. I was afraid of looking silly. I don't know why. But the following year, I went out of my comfort zone and I auditioned. I actually got a lead role in the performance that they did the following year, my senior year of high school. And I sung and I danced and I acted. And it wasn't something I was comfortable doing, but I let myself be creative, and I had some of the best memories of my entire life. And so just like that, like I missed out of a whole year's worth of memories and experiences because I was too afraid to go outside of my comfort zone. And that's kind of the society that we've created for a lot of people. They miss out on great opportunities because they're too afraid to let themselves be creative. All right, so the first of our 5 exercises, and this applies to anything, not just music, but as a musician, I like to just open my mind and improvise. So oftentimes before I even start a practice session, I'll start a timer for 10 minutes and I'll just play whatever I hear, whatever I feel. And through doing that, I come up with a lot of ideas, and then it's just kind of set the tone for what the rest of my practice session or the rest of my writing session will be. So just quickly, I'll just show you what I mean by that. I might set a timer and let's see, just play around a little bit, see what happens. It doesn't have to be good either. I'll just play whatever I hear in my mind. ideas. So that's something just by messing around. So just by letting myself do whatever, I just found a really cool motif I might like. You see what I mean? And then it doesn't have to be good. Nobody's listening. This is for me to just let my mind get everything out. It feels really fun. All right, and then the second way of kind of jump-starting our creativity is actually journaling. And I don't mean like practically journaling, like this is what I have to do today. This is my grocery list. Not that kind of journaling. More of expressive, forward-thinking journaling. So I mean, even like taking this next week, what do I want to be at the end of this week? Abstract. I want to be a better piano player. I want to be a better leader. I want to improve at editing videos because I'm not really good at that. I'd like to be a better husband, a better friend, all kinds of things. And that's just me writing down, creating my future. A month from now, what do I want to be a month from now? A year from now, I'd love to be closer to my goal of being a concert pianist and freelance composer. 10 years from now, I'd like to be deep into that career field, maybe have kids. So yeah, just journaling, but kind of imagining and creating what your future looks like. So that's step number 2. All right, step number 2 is kind of like journaling, but this is creative writing. So whereas journaling is more introspective, creative writing is just anything. And so I took a songwriting class in college, and one of the examples that we had when we were first trying to get through that gap, and it's the blank page syndrome. When you have a blank page, that's the hardest part of writing a song or creating something, starting a new business venture. When you have that blank page, you just don't know where to start. And so the analogy is in the Caribbean or off the Cape of Africa or in Australia, they have marine life that divers have to go down and gather, mostly conch shells. And there's people who make a living off gathering the conch shells, bringing them back up. And that's how they feed their family and they feed their villages through these massive conch shells that are full of meat. And so they're oftentimes like 40, 50 feet deep. And it takes like a minute to swim down that far. And so the average human, I used to swim a lot. So when you're swimming, you can hold your breath for 2 minutes. But so when you get down there 60 seconds, you got to find that shell and get back up 60 more seconds or you're going to run out of air. So these conch divers, they're professional. They go right down, they get what they need, they go back up. They don't go down, they don't have a blank page because they don't have time to, so they have to find it immediately and go back up. So creative writing kind of helps us to go down into our minds, get what we need, and get right back up. So what we do for creative writing is we just pick anything, set a timer for 5 minutes, and be as expressive as possible. Use all of your writing techniques, use alliterations, use the biggest words you know, describe it. And so when you're doing this, even like if I was to, there's a mirror right there. I could write a whole short story about a mirror in 5 to 10 minutes, and I could describe how I feel about it, how it tastes, what it looks like. I could personify it, anything, and that will kickstart creativity. If you're wanting to start a business, sit down and do this creative writing, let everything out, and I'm telling you that blank page mentality goes away because you've gotten all your jitters out. So step number 3 is creative writing. All right, step number 4 for unlocking creativity, an exercise, is it's nature and going out into nature and experiencing it. And this is kind of like, if you're creating, say you plug something into an outlet to turn on your light, but there's no electricity, the light's not gonna turn on. So if you input something, there has to be an output as well. And so what I'm trying to say is you need to go out and experience things, and don't take it for granted. Truly experience it and acknowledge it. Like right where I'm sitting, there's a beautiful weeping willow tree outside. Where I live at home, I have a spectacular lake view. Just sitting out there, look at the night sky, look at, admire an animal, just examining a leaf. Little things like that can lead to inspiration down the road, oddly enough. So yeah, just going out into nature and truly appreciating it. Step number 5 for jumpstarting creativity in ourselves is listen. And not listen as in like just putting on music or putting on YouTube to fill up the space. That's more of escape. Just because we're afraid to be alone with our thoughts, we're just putting something on. This is, which I'm very guilty of that. This is more of I want to listen to this to refine my own interpretation. So for me, if I'm listening to a symphony, instead of just listening to it, listen to what the melody is, what the harmony is, what are the instruments doing. Or if I'm listening to the piano players play, what's their interpretation, what's their articulation, what dynamics are they using, what's the tempo, things, that's active listening. And say, that even goes with like your family and friends. If they're speaking, listen to what they're saying, because that's your input. You're getting input information so that way you can output information. And that goes with learning, listening to audiobooks. Don't just have it on, actually listen and take in what's happening. And that really will give you something through which your creativity can flow. Cool, I hope this was able to help you guys feel more creative and inspire you to be creative, because for myself, it's part of my career that I'm hoping to embark into, where I kind of on a deadline to be creative. That is the only role, is to create. But even for everybody, like, it's important for the culture that everybody is able to feel confident about their uniqueness and create their own things. So yeah, if you're a musician, I hope this was able to help you to get past feeling not creative. And if you're anything else, a business owner, I hope you're able to use some of these practices in effect. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching.